Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
This is Steiny.
Hello there.
A lot goes on in the day-to-day news cycle. And if this was something where it was our job to talk about this and we had a show 5 days a week, you could much easier keep up to speed. But like I tried to do an episode on the Somali fraud thing, and it was ballooning while I was trying to jot ideas down and go to record by myself. Ice, right?
Yeah.
So much goes on every day for the last month that we're just going to do a fucking super collage of bullshit.
Okay.
I'm going to start with this. I do not appreciate the way that this administration is militarizing and weaponizing immigration and customs enforcement to basically have a war on whoever they so choose.
Yep.
Because I, when I was a correctional officer, would have people on immigration holds. These would be people that would get arrested for crimes.
Okay.
They were charged. And while they were awaiting their trial, immigration would be contacted. So they would come get picked up. Mm-hmm. Or they'd sit there until they have enough of the due process of their trial and such, to then ICE would come pick them up. But the point is here, they would be picked up first, arrested for a crime, charged with a crime, and then detained at an ICE holding facility.
Okay.
This was not, by my experience, assholes in balaclavas and SUVs driving around the streets looking for brown people to slap cuffs on because they didn't like the cut of their jib.
Right, and it sounds like we already had a process in place to be getting the worst of the worst when it comes to immigrants, when they committing crimes here, right? Like you said, if they were picked up, ICE would come and get them anyway.
Yeah, and that's at its basic most mission statement should be to find immigrants that commit crimes and assess their legality status and then bounce them out. But we both know that for decades, we do that and they find their way back here with a new name and they do the shit over and over again. And that is why it gave way to this hyper-patriotic / xenophobic rhetoric that we need to get rid of all these immigrants and all these illegals, and Trump was good. I'm going to build a wall. I'll make Mexico pay for it. We'll make all the brown people go back to where they are because all these criminals are coming from these countries and they're ruining America. But the point of that ignores the fact that natural-born American citizens per capita commit more crime than immigrants that come here, because more than the illegals that come here looking to hide from shit they did in other countries and then they end up committing crimes, gangs that come here and just try to proliferate doing the same thing they did in other nations, like MS-13 and shit. You've got people that come here illegally that they need to get the fuck out of Dodge because it's not good where they were. And
because
they come
of those
here,
gangs that you just talked about there.
Yeah. And they're seeking asylum, and some of them go through the process. But there's a number of them in an entire industry of coyotes or people that help illegals cross the border into the nation undocumented-wise. And those people come here and they want to work and they want to start a life and they want to live the American dream. They want to assimilate. And those people I am fine with. I don't think we need to get rid of all the immigrants. I do think that having fully open borders is a nightmare scenario for us, probably worse than it was for what's gone on in Europe, in the UK, in Italy, in France, in Germany, and all those countries that took in all those asylum seekers and then other people that snuck in, mostly from the Middle East, and I hate to say it, Muslims. I'm not trying to sound Islamophobic, but a great many of them were Muslims coming from those countries. And they get there and they can't work. They don't try to work. They live off the government teat and they commit crimes. And it's been so problematic that there's an entire episode I could do on the cover-up of rape gangs in the UK. I think they were Afghani rape gangs. Gangs that basically, they made their money trafficking and raping British girls. And because they didn't want anti-immigrant sentiment to take over there and turn into fucking chaos, they covered the shit up. So back to us. A lot of what Trump is doing is bad.
That is correct.
And he's not really doing it himself as much as he's allowing it. It's Kristi Noem that dog-murdering, melty-faced cunt.
Yeah.
And she, at the orders of Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller, let's go on a mass hiring event. And then these people are getting these jobs that aren't technically qualified. So now we've got poorly trained, recently hired, quote, federal agents that are out there acting like they're cops, but they don't necessarily have the requisite law enforcement background. It's a joke. And Thomas Homan, who's coming here.
Yep.
Now to take over for her because she shit the bed.
Well, and that Bavino guy that they're getting rid of, it's like, oh, he's being kicked out. And I'm like, I just heard he was leaving. It doesn't mean he's not still going to be a figurehead, right? Like, I haven't heard he was demoted or kicked out of his position.
Yeah, but a lot of what's going on now, people are like, oh, people being taken to detainment centers, families being separated, all this shit going on. It happened during Biden. It happened under Obama. Mm-hmm. This is not 100% new. It wasn't nearly to that scale, and I don't remember fucking ICE invading cities any time in the last 20 years like this. To Mass Effect Operation Paris. It has a fucking name. Like it's they're at war.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. To the point that there's so many of them that you then gave way to these protesters and demonstrators and other anti-ICE minded people are like, hey, if you see them, call in an address, but make it be a fake address. Send them places and have them chase their tail and waste their time. And I'm so against that because they need to be catching these criminals that are actually here illegally and then violently assaulting people and stealing. What do you want to say on this?
And when will that stop? When will we have gotten them all, do you think?
We never will.
Have you think we've already gotten them? I think we've already gotten most of them, and this is just an exercise in terror at this point. I don't trust anything this administration says, so I don't even trust the charges that they're applying
or
to some of these people. Or the
numbers of people they say they're arresting.
Exactly, right? To me, when they said, 5-6 months ago, they're I forget his name, that they needed to get X number a day, right, to get their numbers up because they weren't getting enough people. They weren't, like, the numbers that they promised the right wing weren't there, so they had to ramp them up. So they needed to start to go to Home Depots, and this is when you started hearing in California they were going to all these places and doing these raids, that they supposedly weren't going to do. You see them running out in the fields after people, after day laborers and shit like that.
Or when they infiltrated, I think it was it a Toyota plant?
Right, exactly. Or
Hyundai.
Yeah.
Okay, either way, they went to a fucking car manufacturing plant and they arrested dozens of people.
Right. So what I'm getting at is I don't trust that what they're doing now is legit, right? What they're doing now in our community, I don't trust that. So I'm fully okay with people misleading them. I'm fully okay with people following them around because I don't trust that they're actually going after the criminals here. This, to me, like you said, sounds racist. It sounds like they're just grabbing people up off the street. And they're not telling us what happens next. If they were telling us what happens next, okay, these people have been let go. It turns out they were legit. Or these people, have been further detained because we're further assessing. If we would get some more information, if they were being transparent, I don't think you would have as many people getting as irate, right? Even those of us who basically don't agree with it a lot, at least if, okay, you're proving to me that you're just getting the criminals, the rapists, the pedophiles off the streets, then I think so many more people would be supporting this, right? Because nobody wants those people on the street.
But the secrecy gives way to mistrust, which then leads to people like, I'm going to sit there and make them waste their time. And then you've got me going, well, fuck, we're wasting government resources. There's not an unlimited amount of money.
Exactly.
And on top of that now, in addition to people sending them where they don't need to go, then you have these public demonstrations in stores like Target. They'll do sit-ins and demanding, an ice out where all this, don't go shopping, don't do this, don't go that. Like, let's not fucking screw over small businesses and the economy to make this stop. Go and fucking make a mass protest outside the Capitol building and keep it going day after day after day after day until they go, okay, let's sit down and talk about this. Because it doesn't just stop at these fucking sit-ins. No, we have people running around dressed like they're fucking doing Call of Duty Black Ops cosplay, and then they're trying to intervene. And they think they're doing the right thing. But you don't know if they're doing the right thing. And in the case of Renee Good, they think they're on the right side by trying to stop ICE from grabbing anyone.
Right.
You can't stop them from grabbing everyone. But then you also, in the case of Renee Good, her wife was like, yeah, let's go be disruptors. And they were following them around and harassing them. And ultimately, she got caught in between them, tried to wave them off, say, go around me. They're like, no, you've been following us. You fucked around. It's time to find out. And then we know how it ended. They say she drove her vehicle at the ICE agent. He said he feared for his life. I'm calling bullshit because she wasn't going that fast. And frankly, he didn't fire the kill shot until he was standing next to the vehicle, not in front of it.
Right. Yeah.
But all of that happened because her wife said, let's go do this. And her wife admitted she wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me pushing for her to go. And if they didn't have this fucking heavy military presence level of agents here in the Twin Cities, people wouldn't be out there and they wouldn't have so much going on that they feel the need to sit there and send them on these misdirection missions and fucking sit there and interrupt shopping at a suburban Target and piss off the business itself and the corporation because you're interrupting their ability to make money and service their customers. They don't need to make a statement. They're a business. The government needs to make statements. The schools can make statements because they're sick of ICE rolling up, trying to catch parents picking up kids.
Yeah, I think businesses, especially ones like Target, have a fine line to walk nowadays. I mean, too much of what they even just carry supposedly is making a statement, right? You know, so I do agree with what you're saying there. I don't think it's really incumbent upon certain businesses to make a statement. If other businesses want to make statements, that's within their rights. I mean, that's obviously just as much within their free speech rights as an individual's. They just have to deal with the repercussions of it either way, right? You know, people are going to boycott, people are going to protest their place if they do take one side or the other, right? Because in this day and age, it's going to be polarized, and people are going to yell at you if you go too far to one side, right? Or even if you don't pick a side, right? They're going to yell at you now.
Yeah, that's the biggest bullshit part of this is individuals getting mad at companies like Walmart and Target. Mm-hmm. You're not doing enough to make a statement. They're not in the business of politicizing their sales. They just want to take products and put them on the shelves, and then you buy them, and then you go home with them, and they make money. And more people come do the same thing. It's a business. It's about consumerism. It's not about political activism.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense for them to all have to make a statement. And everything is ICE out and fire ICE. And then it gets to the point where even professional wrestler Brody King wears a shirt to the ring in AEW that says abolish ICE.
Okay.
I get where he's coming from. His heart's in the right place. I don't think abolishing ICE is the right answer as much as defunding the police was.
Sure. No, I understand. We do need an immigration, customs, and enforcement agency, right? Because in this day and age, for our safety, more than anything else, we can't have an open border, right? You can't have people that would come in and take over a plane and fly them into
the Twin Towers.
Again,
or the
right?
Pentagon.
Or wherever else, right? To get cars like they do in Europe and then drive them down crowded festivals, right? Like
Parades
you've seen and things like that,
over.
right? We don't want those types of people in here. So there has to be a balance in what we police, what we patrol, what we keep out, and the people that we let in who legitimately want to be here and contribute to society. And the problem is it becomes an all or nothing bag for both sides, right? One side sees all immigrants as bad, taking jobs and resources away from hard-earned Americans, and the other side sees as all immigrants as being good contributors to society. And neither side is 100% correct on that, right? Because we know that when you have mass immigration, there are going to be bad apples that get in with them, right? But the majority of the people that come in will contribute.
And that's true. And I'm fine with those people that come here and they follow the process that they're supposed to and get the visas and respect the rules and contribute. I'm totally fine with them. I will always defend those people. And those are the people that Alex Pretty was defending. Yep, I'm going to jump right into him too. The guy that was murdered the other day. Murdered.
Right.
In the street. He was trying to get involved and maybe he shouldn't have put his hands on somebody. But unfortunately, they went way overboard and they fucking killed this guy in the street. Because ICE is here, because they sent this military force level of immigration here, all these people are pissed off at what they're doing, yeah?
Sure.
And it's leading to people going out there and intervening, and people like Alex Pretty are out there trying to fight the good fight. And to my estimation, he never pulled a gun on any of them. He did not deserve to die. Just like when Renee Good got killed, it didn't need to happen. None of that needs to happen because ICE should be focusing on pulling people out of jails and not going on witch hunts at businesses, because all it is a poison that bleeds out into society.
Yes.
So to wrap this up here, fraud bad, ICE right now bad, and xenophobia and the militarization of government agencies for political agendas bad. Mm-hmm. Stopping fraud good, catching real criminals good.
Absolutely.
Respecting brown people and yellow people as people, not just brown and yellow people, and trying to place them under the guise of criminality for political gain.
Right.
Give them their dignity. That's good. And God fucking help us all in this state, because holy Christ, we are so Kentucky Fried fucked right now. I don't even want to think about what could go wrong in the next week or two.
That's what it seems like. It seems like the Alex Pretty thing was like the powder keg exploding again after just a short amount of time, exploding before, just 2 weeks before. And yeah, if there isn't some type of release, it's going to blow again. Like you said, there will be a
knock on wood that nobody else innocent dies now, that Kristi Noem has been put in the penalty box.
Yeah.
And as much as people want to go to hotels and smash windows and spray paint fuck ICE, stop doing that shit.
Yeah, that doesn't help you.
Businesses want to make money. Go to the Capitol. Don't fucking break into it and ruin things and take a shit on somebody's desk. But do stand outside with signs and bullhorns and whistles and draw attention and continue to be united in a front that we as a state don't want to see a socioeconomic government situation then basically bastardized into one man's conquest for more power and utilizing tin soldiers on the streets with their fucking stupid vests and balaclavas and guns to make us all scared. It's too much. It's too much. Interact with the show on Twitter, What Do We Call It? That is What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It Podcast Show. For the What Do We Call It Podcast, I'm Jmann.
This is Steiny.
And that's the end.